Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Under the Influence. And tonight we'll be watching a animated short um, from Tales from the Trip. These are animated shorts from Comedy Central. And this is Steve-0 shares his wildest acid, ketamine, and cocaine stories. So let's hear what he's got to say about his experiences on these drugs.
Just erupted into flames. Is this happening? And I would double check. Yep, it's happening. Hey everybody, I'm Steve-0, star of the upcoming movie JackAss Forever. Yeah, dude. Now let's get into a variety of psychedelic experiences, which I actually am quite proud of. The first time I really properly tripped, I was a junior in high school, and I had just been to my first Grateful Dead concert and took my first real powerful hit of LSD. It was after the concert, when I got back home, that I really started to notice things were going a little bit crazy. I had school the next morning, so I wanted to get to sleep. I noticed as I was trying to fall asleep that I was actually being mindful so as to not disturb the other me, which was in front of me, or the other me, which was behind me. And if you're having trouble following me, what I'm telling you is that there were literally three of me in the same bed. And I was in the middle, being careful not to disturb either of the other two me's. This was the most incredible experience I had ever had in my life. I remember it so fondly. It's incredible. It was so
Okay, I have never had an experience like that doing acid, ever. I've done acid a lot of times and I've done heavy amounts, but I have never seen three of me. Okay, yeah, definitely new. That's definitely a new one for me.
special that I really didn't mind just laying there perfectly still and being quiet. I think the other two fell asleep first. I took acid hundreds of times trying to recreate that experience, and sadly, it never did happen. So if you're thinking about taking acid to try to enjoy being three people at the same time, let me assure you, it can only happen once, and it was intense. Not
Well, like you said there, I guess it'll only happen once. So, yeah, if that ever happens to you, let me know. Comment. Let me know if that ever happened to you. I have yet to experience anything like that. Whenever I do it, colors become more vivid, brighter. Um, the walls, everything becomes like a vibration. It's all energy, right? It's nothing solid anymore. That's the most I've experienced on acid. But yeah, I've never hallucinated like that.
not as intense as the bag of ketamine I got into in 2006, about the time when Jackass number 2 was coming out. Ketamine is a dissociative drug. Everything just goes out the window. This ketamine was in powder form. My experience with that bag actually lasted for 2 straight days. On the first night was me laying in the bathtub. My feet were like 30 feet away. Like some Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas crap. This is embarrassing, but the thought I had was, dude, Jim Morrison doesn't have shit on me. But it was the next day when I was trying to take care of some business. I had a lawsuit going on, and all while just treating myself to this endless bag of ketamine. Out of nowhere, the entire hotel room which I was in simply began to freefall. And I couldn't fucking believe this, man. I was like, whoa! I looked up, and what I saw was, it looked like an elevator shaft through which the hotel room was falling. I mean, dude, that's just one of the types of things ketamine is good for.
I have never tried ketamine, so his experience is unfamiliar to me. Yeah, I don't really have any intention of trying it unless something happened that made me call me to do it. But ketamine, no, not really looking forward to trying that anytime soon.
It's not lost on me that that might make ketamine
Hey, let me
sound
know if I'm
attractive.
wrong.
But let me also tell you that there was a time during my heavy ketamine use when the idea popped into my head, what if I couldn't breathe? Imagine having the physical experience that you can't breathe. And that idea took on a life that really upsets me to this day. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, man. Not anybody. If I'm honest, these
Mm,
experiences I just related to you were sort of one-offs. But when it got to the point that I was doing cocaine for days on end while inhaling nitrous oxide, to the best of my ability, I would inhale nitrous oxide to the exclusion of air. And because it's a trashy, chemically, crappy way of eroding these barriers, we open ourselves up to very low level frequency, which I would categorize as demons. Like at one point, I was in my big swiveling office chair. This whole chair I was in just erupted into flames. I was sitting in like a throne of fire. Is this happening? And I would double check. Yep, it's happening. I thought to myself, man, I'm really killing myself with all this. You know, there's no longevity in what I'm doing. And then I remembered thinking, I don't care if I die. And I leaned over to snort that line. Something about having that thought was not okay with some spiritual entity. Because as I leaned over, that swiveling chair I was in spun with the force of a mechanical bull. And the message was so clear to me. Think again. Very important that you not die. And it was like, that was an angel. And later, when I ended up in rehab and they were talking about I needed a higher power, and what am I going to pray to? Whatever spun that chair is what I pray to. It's my higher power. I think few people have had the types of experiences that I've had, but even fewer have made it out and survived and become like healthy versions of themselves. So I wouldn't really roll the dice with the odds of having my experiences and then surviving them and going on to have like a good life, because I beat some serious odds, man.
Tales from the
Well, there you go. That was the first installment of Tales from the Trip. Now, yeah, these are extreme stories. I must admit. I mean, everyone's had some bad trips on mushrooms and psychedelics and other drugs, but yeah, these stories here, if you want to check them out, they're extreme stories. If you've never done it before, it may scare you from ever wanting to try it, which doesn't matter if you do try it or no interest in trying it. But yeah, you can check out these stories, Tales from the Trip. This was Steve-O's. Thought it was interesting. Thought it could have had better stories. I'm sure like there are some stories that are like just positive and changed his life and made him do things differently. But yeah, I think these animated shorts are for more of people who've had like really bad trips or, you know, just memorable ones that were not so great. But hopefully they make some positive videos on what it's like to do acid and psychedelics and have a amazing experience and a positive outcome after. Because I've learned a lot from it and it's made my life a lot better. But yeah, check it out. That's it for another episode of Under the Influence, and we'll see you next time.